Welcome to the Coffee Journeys show, hosted by me, Piotr Zagorowski, author of the Coffee Journeys blog. In this show, I'll be sharing my journey from being a technical person to a leader and discussing topics such as leadership, technology, and intentional living. I'll be sharing my unique perspective and insights and offering guidance on how to develop the skills and mindset needed to succeed in today's world. Whether you're an aspiring leader, a technology enthusiast, or simply looking to learn more about the world around you, this podcast is for you. So, join me for the engaging and thought-provoking conversations on leadership, technology, and intentional living on the Coffee Journeys show. Hello. Welcome to another episode of my podcast. Today we're going to be talking about quite difficult topic, and this topic is layoffs and how rejection always hurts. I'm going to start with my personal story, and I talked about this in episode number 1, so I redirect you to this episode if you would like to hear the full story, but here is the shortened version to illustrate this topic and give you an idea what we are going to talk about. It was a long time ago. I was working for a cable TV company. This is how my career started. Internet was booming in Poland, and I started to learn Linux and wanted to change my job to be a full-time Linux administrator. The opportunity came as my company bought the Sun Microsystems server. So I called my director, and full of enthusiasm, I explained why I was a good candidate to administer this server. In response, he bluntly asked me, "Do you know how expensive this computer was?" A few weeks later, I worked already for a different company, for a hospital, where I was responsible for many Linux stations, and I was lucky to be able to install one of the first optical networks in southern Poland. Today, I'm glad that this director rejected me, because the frustrations and anger I felt then gave me the power to apply for an aspirational role, and it worked. It worked for me at this time. However, I want to acknowledge, being rejected or being subject to layoffs always hurts, and we need to be aware of it. However, as Stoic says, it is up to us how we react to our emotions. So I'm going to give you few thoughts and few observations from my career, also as a leader, as a manager who needed to participate in layoffs. First of all, it's not about you. The way companies work is that they need to be profitable. On one hand, there is revenue. Of course, it comes from items sold or margins from services and so on, whatever your company does. It's supposed to be stream of revenue. On the other side, there are costs, and there are many costs that companies need to pay to run business. And one of the highest costs is unfortunately people. So sometimes the only options on the table is to reduce the workforce. Brutal, but true. Sometimes you are unlucky to be one of the affected assets. And it's not about you. It's about economy and business, and sometimes, unfortunately, greed as well. On the other hand, it is about you. Let me explain. Having this said, how company works and that they need to reduce workforce, there was some meeting and there was some table in spreadsheet or any other HR table where your name was put and mentioned. And it is another harsh realization. Leadership is always hard. And this is probably the hardest in leadership, is to having these discussions and decisions. Someone evaluated a lot of factors and make a conscious decision. So you may ask, it's all my fault. Not at all. It's a lot of factors. You influence a minority of them. It could be a business unit that is not profitable, and I was in the situation where a whole business unit needs to be cut. It could be a project that needs to be parked. And finally, it could be your experience or performance or something else that basically is a factor in this decision. So now, what can you do if you find yourself in the situation where you lost your job? First of all, get to terms with the new situation. As I mentioned, it's not you. Work should never define you. Yes, it's a massive part of your life, but it should never be all of your life. So connect with loved ones, surround yourself with people that support you, and reconnect with your inner you. Next step you can do, I already mentioned, network with people, especially with people who support you. Make sure you maintain valuable connections. Check your LinkedIn contacts, refresh some relationships, offer some help to others that may be in need also. Next step, what you can do. You can train yourself. Spend time reevaluating who you want to be and what you want to do. What brings you joy? Make a plan, roll your sleeves, start training. Look for courses. There is a ton of free valuable materials out there on the interwebs. There is tons of stuff these days, probably too many and too hard to make decision. I try to maintain the list of courses that help me in my career, and I was technical person and I transitioned to leadership. If you are interested, you can go to coffeejourneys.blog/courses and you will find some courses that helped me in my career. And finally, regroup and attack with new power. Start to think about your next steps. Make a list of the companies that you want to work for. Reach out to people that work there. I already mentioned networking. LinkedIn search enables you to basically find people and companies in your network, and maybe some of them are in your network already. If not, reach out, request connections. Prepare yourself to apply for a new job. And that brings me to something that is going to be self-promoting. So if you are not interested in something that I prepared, just finish here. I hope these few points help you to regain your balance. But I also want to help. So I prepared some course that I want to help and I want to provide to people who think about changing jobs or unfortunately lost their jobs and want to find new one. So I prepared a mini course consisting 3 things. One is interactive checklist to guide you step by step what needs to be done to go through the job hunting process. Everything from this interactive list is in ebook. So this is the second part. It's basically PDF where I put everything, all my notes and stuff that is in this interactive list. And when you sign up for this course, you will have also access to my newsletter with many additional tools and information. A little bit about history about this mini course. So basically, I changed job in the past after a long time. After 14 years not changing job, I was totally rusty. I was only having exposure to the other end as a recruiter, as a recruiting manager, but I didn't need to change my job. So finally, when I wanted to change job, I needed to relearn how to do it effectively. And I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of notes. I reached out to a lot of people. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and so on. And I was making notes in the process. And then when more and more people lost their jobs from my teams, from the previous employer, I was sending them email with my notes. But then I thought, okay, I should structurize this and I should probably keep it in a way that it's easy to follow. So I created this interactive checklist. It uses one of my favorite to-do apps. It's free to use and you can go. So what is it? First of all is preparation of your LinkedIn profile from photo, headline, about sections, and so on. Then there is a few tasks or few steps how you structure and edit your CV, including examples of the most important part, in my opinion, which is executive summary. If you can only focus on one thing when you're changing job, focus on this, because this is the most read part of your CV. Recruiters receive hundreds, if not thousands of CV, and they just scan it through. So your CV should be like a good blog post to hook people and keep them read more. Then there is a section about how you prepare for your interview with some questions, and especially with questions around startups and so on. Then there is a section how you check your future employer. There are a few tools online that you can use. Then you can connect with experts that I put there, and especially from technical field, I recommend list of people that I follow that I learned a lot. Second part I mentioned is ebook, so easy to use, step-by-step write-up about everything. Again, list of tools, list of websites that I follow and recommend, including like salary negotiation, employee fact check, and so on. Newsletter, I already mentioned, extra information. Sometimes there is book reviews, sometimes there is podcast recommendations, links to articles, and so on. Finally, I have few presents as well. So I have contact to a professional career coach with 10% discount. I also have discount for GTD tool, Getting Things Done tool that I use. It works for free, but if you are into this stuff and you want to use more than 5 projects, I recommend one tool and I managed to secure discount for you. And finally, there is a mock-up interview. If you are ready and you would like to try, you can schedule a meeting and you will meet and you will have your mock-up interview. I hope it will help you. And remember, you're not alone in this. There is whole industry affected. There's a lot of people and everyone wants to help. My course is free. You can pay me £3 if you would like to give me a coffee for my effort. But I understand the situation is tough. Some people are very stressed and I'm giving it for free. So if you would be interested in this course, it's coffeejourneys.blog/checklist. And this is all I have for you today. I value feedback a lot. That's why I ask you to review my podcast in your favorite podcasting platform and give it as many stars as you think it deserves. By doing so, this podcast is going to be more visible and I can reach more people to provide value. And before you go, if you would like to join the community of people who are determined to help each other and grow together, join my newsletter at coffeejourneys.blog/newsletter. Thanks for tuning in today, and until next time, have a great